Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first episode for the new season of the 2024-2025 New Jersey Devils NHL season. And we're starting off with an absolute huge news. It came out yesterday. But before we get into that, guys, welcome back to Devil's Den Hockey. I know it has been a crazy long time since I have made another video. There really hasn't been much in the news regarding the Devils. There was the update on Luke Hughes' injury. There's been a couple of updates in signing some PTOs. I didn't really feel like that needed a huge video or anything, but we're back because this time Dawson Mercer has re-signed with the New Jersey Devils after feeling like it was the longest contract negotiation that I have ever had the misfortune of having to sit through, okay? Dawson Mercer has re-signed with the Devils after having a less than productive season. Last year, Dawson Mercer signs a 3-year contract with the New Jersey Devils for roughly about $4 to $4.3 million each year. So last season, as we all know, the Devils did not do very well. They sucked. It was a really bad year. No one really had a good year, except just for Brett having still 100 points, or almost 100 points, in like 82 games. Guy was great. Only one of the guys that was great last year. But this year, we're hoping to turn it around, and hopefully Dawson Mercer's new contract is going to help the New Jersey Devils this year. So, let's talk about what I think about the contract. I was kind of hoping for a more longer-term deal. However, given the lackluster performance he had last year, I don't blame New Jersey for wanting to give him just a bridge deal, something to cover just a couple of years, see how he pans out. I think if Mercer is not able to really burst out of his shell that he's sort of been in the last few years and really make a breakout appearance in the next couple of years, I think maybe we have a discussion about, do we move this guy? Do we not move this guy? How are the Devils doing in the standings over the next 2 to 3 years? Hopefully this year is going to be a much better year than last year, but we just sort of have to wait and find out. We have a lot of injuries, specifically to our defensemen. Luke Hughes is out. Hamilton's out. I believe it's Dylan is out as well. I can't remember if it's Dylan or Pesci, which is the defenseman. But one of the two, they're out right now. There's so many injuries on this team to start the year, which could really put New Jersey in the hole to even open up the year. But we'll see what happens. In terms of Mercer's contract, like I said, it is a 3-year deal, roughly about $4 to $4.3 million a year. This, to me, makes sense. This is a guy who, again, we'll see what happens in the next 2 to 3 years. Right now, Dawson Mercer, on average, is scoring about 20 goals a year, and he's getting about, 15 to 30 assists per year. So this is a 40 to 50 point player, which, again, is nothing to shake a stick at. Dawson Mercer is the kind of guy that you like having on your depth roster, and he's definitely a guy that if New Jersey does need to move him at some point in the next couple of years, can definitely take up a second or a third line position on really any team that wants him. Again, 40 to 50 points a year is not bad. That's a guy who's getting a point every other game for your squad. And again, I think New Jersey wants him to become that 30-goal scorer that I think we all know he probably can be. And that's just gonna take the proper line mates that he's gonna be working with and his willingness. And again, not to say that he's not willing or that he doesn't try hard enough. That's not what I'm saying at all. But a willingness to sort of kick it into the next gear, to move up to that next level of play that we've all been praying that Mercer is going to be able to do. But yeah, I personally like the deal. I think it's a fine deal. It's short enough of a contract in terms of the number of years to see what Mercer can provide the team in his potential, which I think that Right now, I think that Fitzgerald is sort of looking at. He's looking at guys going, okay, I see the potential here. How are we going to take that potential? How are we going to go from we're here? How can we kick that potential up to here and see what we can do with these players? And this is even echoed in some of the offseason signings that he got, specifically with guys like Paul Cotter, where Fitzgerald literally says, I see a lot of potential in Paul Cotter. I see a lot of potential there to be a really good guy and a really solid foundational piece for the New Jersey Devils, but we'll just see if he can make his potential. And like Cotter, Mercer has all of the potential in the world. I feel like Mercer is like the rightful heir to the Pavel Zacha, where we all wanted Pavel Zacha to sort of be the next guy, to sort of be that, 20 to 40 goal scorer that it just felt like with New Jersey he wasn't able to do. And now I feel like we're in the same position with Dawson Mercer. So there is that. But like I said, I like the number of years that he got on the deal. I like the bridge deal. And in terms of $4 million, bless me. In terms of the money that he's going to get, going to be getting $4 to $4.3 million a year is not bad whatsoever. This is a relatively small contract that you can write off if need be in the year. We're not looking at, $6, $7, $8 million. I don't think he's worth $6, $7, $8 million. But if Fitzgerald had decided to sign him for, $6 or $7 million a year, that causes a little bit more of an issue in terms of not only contract negotiations with guys like Bratt, Hughes, like Hamilton. And it's not a contract that you can easily just write off or send to another team. And again, if Mercer needs to be a trading piece later on in his career in these 3 years, then $4 million is not really a lot for any other team to take on. And even if they only take on 50% of his retained salary, New Jersey has to carry a $2 million contract. That's not bad at all. Now, I know that in a couple of years, we're going to start to see, I think, a lot more tension and a lot more tightness where it comes to the salary cap issues. But again, $2 to $4 million is really not a lot for New Jersey to carry, if need be. But we'll see what happens. So, final words on Dawson Mercer's new contract. I like the number of years. I like the amount of money that he's making. And I hope and I pray that he's able to become the player that I think every single New Jersey Devils fan out there wants him to become. Because again, 20-goal scorer. I know he can be a 30-goal scorer. I know he can. And having Hughes, Hischier, Bratt, and Mercer all getting 30 to 40 to 50 goals a year, that is so much growth. That is so much growth. That there's so much growth and potential and usefulness if Mercer can become that 30-goal scorer, that 50 to 60 point guy a year. That would be so good for New Jersey's depth. Because hey, let's say you're up on a 4-2 game or a 3-2 game, and you want to really bolster that third line. You can stick Mercer on a third line, and he can still not center in terms of the position, but he can anchor that line, being the 30-goal scorer guy. Or hey, you're down by 1 goal in the third period with 7 minutes left. You slap Mercer on a second line with Bratt or Hughes, and again, the potential alone for Mercer is, I feel sky high. And for people to sort of sleep on Mercer at times feels a little weird to me. Not to say that he will become that potential or he'll fulfill his potential with New Jersey, but there's so much there that I think Fitz has to take a chance on this guy. And having him at 3 years is great, because if he doesn't pan out, you just ship his ass off to Utah or something like that. Anyways, so now the Mercer stuff is sort of taken care of, let's talk about the future of this channel moving forward. So, we are entering into a new year of New Jersey hockey. That means the Devil's Den videos are going to become more, there's going to be 3 to 4 videos a week, okay? There really is, with the number of games that we play. I'm also tinkering around with the idea of potentially live streaming some of these games once a week. We'll see if that's going to be able to happen. I am working right now full time, as well as the fact that I potentially might be starting a second job. So depending on time constraints that I have, I don't know if I'll be able to fulfill everything I want to do with the channel this year. But again, our first game of preseason is tomorrow. You guys are going to be getting Devil's Den videos for every single preseason game, so long as I have the time to actually film and watch these games. But yeah, first preseason game is tomorrow. New season is starting in like a week or two. So you guys are going to be getting Devil's Den videos basically all the time from here on until like April and May when we make the playoffs. Not if we make the playoffs, when we make the playoffs. Because so help me God, if this team cannot make the playoffs with this squad, I will lose it. I will actually lose it. But yeah, preseason starts tomorrow. I do want to make videos for the preseason games because I do want to start taking a look at some of the prospects, some of the younger guys that can come up, see if there's guys on our AHL squads which impressed me during preseason. Hataka, I'm looking at you. Please show me what you can do. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Again, welcome back to Devil's Den Hockey, and I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.